On this episode of Town Square Talk, we have Gusta Carr from South St. Paul for All. This show is supported by South Robert Street Business Association. Welcome to another episode of Town Square Talk. I'm your host, Caleb Worth. Today we have Gusta Carr from South St. Paul for All. He's the co-founder of the nonprofit organization. And Gusta, thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm wondering if we can get to know you a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit about your early life, where you grew up, where you went to school, things like that?
Sure. I grew up in Wisconsin, a small town called Parade of Sheen. I graduated there in 1998 and then stuck around the area for a little while before I moved to Minnesota. I went to Dakota County Technical College, and I am an interior designer. Haven't done a whole lot of stuff with a design background, but I've traveled the whole United States. I kind of found certain places that I fell in love with. We lived in our camper for a year while we toured America, and somehow found our way back to South St. Paul. And came back here and kind of just found a natural rhythm here, and found a way to kind of find that advocacy part of my background. And once I found my voice, I just kind of have been trying to use it everywhere I can for as much good as I can.
That is wonderful. Glad to hear that. So what we will definitely talk about the advocacy side of things, but I'm curious what you do outside of South St. Paul for All. What are your interests, hobbies, things like that?
Sure. Well, I'm a fair weather person, so when it's nice enough, I like to camp, kayak, and fish. In the wintertime, I do a lot of reading, or I pick up hobbies that I never finish. I do a lot of protesting at the Capitol. I've been there a lot this year. I just try to find people to network with, and people who have kind of the same missions and same beliefs that I have, and just kind of be there for my community. I'm a disabled person, so I try to interact with people who have disabilities as well, and see if I can improve their lives somehow too. I'm my mom's caregiver, so just hanging with her and just trying to spread joy wherever I can.
That's great. That's a great mission for life, right? Well, it sounds like advocacy has been a big part of your life, and so can you tell me a little bit what sparked that for you? How you got into the advocacy realm?
Yeah, actually, it was not until 2021. I came to a crossroads in my own life, and I was kind of like at rock bottom, not happy, and just needed some changes. And I found that stepping into that role of like community service and just trying to come out of the shadows and be a leader more kind of filled that void in my life. And once I was able to connect with the right people and just be there for the right groups and the right community, I fell in love with it. And now I probably try to put myself into too many places, stretch myself a little too thin, but whether it's, like I said, disability rights, women's rights, I have a sister and nieces that I'm passionate about their rights coming up, and so just that it's what it's become for me. Like I dove in head first, and now I just try to be that person that fills that role, and it's kind of become my life, and now I really don't know anything but trying to do that.
Sure. That's great to hear. So I'm definitely curious to learn more about South St. Paul for All as an organization, as a nonprofit organization, and the mission and the focus of that group. So can you tell us a little bit about the group?
Yeah, so that's kind of like a lot of where my advocacy started too, was one of my co-founders, Bethany, in 2023, She had put on a social media on our neighborhood page that she wanted to just come together and celebrate the LGBTQ plus community in South St. Paul. And she really had no way how to do it, how to go about doing it. And so she and I and one of our straight allies, a wonderful woman named Cindy, we met at a coffee shop, and we just decided that we were going to have like a community event, a community gathering after Thanksgiving. And so we hosted a chili and pie fundraiser at Central Square here in South St. Paul, or in South St. Paul. And from the money that we raised doing that, we donated those funds to the new Kaposia Library. And the county worked with us and let us choose the books that we purchased with those funds. And so we purchased stuff on what it meant to be gay, or the history of the gay rights movement, or how I could be a better ally, or stuff like that. And it was a success, and we really wanted to keep the momentum and keep the ball rolling on it. So we became a nonprofit, and we held a public meeting, and at that meeting we had some great volunteers show up, and they eventually became our volunteer staff. And we have, since then, we've hosted South St. Paul's Pride Festival. We've had 2 of those. This past November, we had our 3rd annual Chili and Pie fundraiser, which we had to move to the Croatian Hall because that grew bigger in numbers, so we kind of outgrew the inside of Central Square. We have done some other fun stuff, like we adopted the flower garden from the city, so at Lorraine Park, we take care of the sign there for the park, and we put the plant life and the foliage in there, and take care of that all summer. We adopted Murray Avenue, and we clean up the garbage there. We do every Valentine's Day, we do a card making little get together at the library, and then we donate those cards to the Saga group at the high school, so we let them know that we're thinking of them and that the community cares about them as well. And then just this past year, we rolled out our Meeples for All Peoples game nights. So one Friday night a month at the Kaposia Library, we invite everyone, generally like 13 up, unless you have a parent with you, but come and play games, have snacks. That's generally from like 6 to 9 o'clock. And then also this past June, we rolled out Rainbow Seniors. And that is, we partnered with Darts in West St. Paul. And every second Wednesday of the month, we get together from 1 to 3 at Darts. And we just, if you're 55 and up and you identify as LGBTQ+, we get together and, we tell stories, we talk about who we are. We've had presenters come in for like senior housing and CDA and stuff like that, so we can help let the senior population know that they don't have to age alone, that we're here for them as well. We celebrate our trailblazers, so yeah, it's just been a really big, a really big show of support. Generally, Pride, we've had really big turnouts. The first year was phenomenal weather, a really great show of support. Last year we had a little bit of rain, but it was still magical because we had our drag royalty out doing somersaults in the rain, and it was magical.
Nice.
But yeah, so the momentum just keeps moving forward. Like I said, we're about to enter our 3rd year. So with our 3rd year, some volunteer staff, their family needs change, and so we have some staff leaving and some staff that it's getting ready to start, and some, rebranding stuff coming up like any other nonprofit goes through. But yeah, I think that we have a strong future ahead of us, and hopefully South St. Paul will continue to support our presence in town.
If you're reaching for the moon with your video goals, but it's driving you bananas trying to get there, we can be your guiding star. Whether it be for marketing, storytelling, preserving memories, or just getting your message out there, Town Square Television's production services department can help bring your ideas to life. For more information or to ask about a custom quote, you can visit townsquare.tv/production services.
Beth, can we rent out the studio?
There's so much room for activities in there.
People could host meetings.
They could use the green screen.
They could do photo shoots.
You guys are the professionals, if that's what you want to do.
So?
Yeah, just go for it.
You're not gonna regret this. Look at all this floor space. Enhance. 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 Too much. Unenhance.
Guys, it doesn't have to be this hard. If you want to watch Town Square television programs, just go to townsquare.tv/streaming to find Town Square's community programs and your city or school board meetings. Or look for the Cablecast app on your smart device and search Town Square Television.
Stay up to date with what's happening at Town Square Television by signing up for our monthly newsletter. Go to our website, click on Newsletter Subscription, then fill in your details and submit.
Thank you for watching Town Square Talk. Did you know that Town Square Television is a 501c3 nonprofit organization? Yup, it's true. We are. And we rely on donations from wonderful viewers like you. You can also become a member, and you can do that at townsquare.tv. We would greatly appreciate your support to continue local programming. Thank you. That's excellent. Yeah, it sounds like you have quite a lot of presence around the area and the community. So you touched on, I think, a little bit of the monthly events. So there's a game night event you had mentioned. Are there other monthly events that
We do the Rainbow Seniors
and
as
the Rainbow
well.
Seniors?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So those are kind of the two main monthly events. Got it. Okay.
And then we do have, like, on our website, we have a calendar, and that calendar gets updated with the monthly events, but also, like, the small, like I mentioned, the Valentine's Day, the card crafting,
Sure.
or, anything else we do. Generally, the calendar of events there is updated with everything. And so.
Sure. And then in terms of larger events, it sounds like it's the Pride Festival and Kaposia Days.
Yeah,
Is
so
that right?
we did take part in, for 2 years in a row now, we've had a float with Kaposia Days. This past year was fabulous. We, to show support to our transgender brothers and sisters, we had a float that we all decked out in the colors of the trans flag. And our theme this year was Pink Pony Club, because that was everywhere.
That's very fitting, yeah.
And our first year, we had people that were like, well, we don't quite understand what we were. But this year, block after block, we had standing ovations. So
Great.
that was really kind of cool to be a part of that. And again, next year, if we'll be in it again, I would imagine so. But it'll be exciting to have another kind of over-the-top float,
Right.
And so, and then like I think, we partnered with Neighbors this year too, and for our chili and pie fundraiser, we gathered 80 pounds of food, I think, is what we collected and took in, and our I mentioned our ally, Cindy. She and another friend sat in Nolan's parking lot for one weekend, and they gathered food, and I think a pretty decent amount of cash that we took down and turned into Neighbors as well. So it's just trying to be, there for everyone, to lift up our community, to show that, there's not a lot different between who I am versus who you are sitting across the table.
Sure. And the chili and pie fundraiser that you mentioned, is that something that already took place for this year?
Yeah, so that's generally is our the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And so we had it this past November. We'll do it again
This coming
this
November.
coming November.
Got
yeah.
it. Okay. That's great. And then you had mentioned South St. Paul Pride as a big event. Is there any new plans or anything additional you're planning for this year?
Yeah, so we are already scheduled for June 13th. It'll be at Central Square again. And we're looking at some really fun options to add to the outdoor experience. So I'm kind of don't want to go any further with that.
Sure.
But yeah, like we have some of our volunteer staff have some really big ideas for this year. So, and we're already working on it. So Pride is something that takes several months to plan. And as soon as January rolled over on the calendar, we were.
Then you start in on the planning, right?
Yep.
That's excellent. Can you tell me a little bit about how people can support South St. Paul for All?
Sure. So we're always looking for people like day of volunteers for the big events. As I mentioned, we're rebranding and we're going through that transition where we're looking for some new volunteer staff. So anybody's welcome to reach out and maybe let us know what your strong points are, where you might be willing to volunteer your hours. You can always reach out via the website or the Facebook page. And then also on the website, like any other nonprofit, there's a tab there that you could donate funds. Those funds are basically just the operating costs that help us continue to do the monthly events and then contribute to those larger events 2 or 3 times a year.
That's great. And what is the website URL, by the way, for people to find the South St. Paul for All?
Sure. So the website is www.ssp4all.org.
Okay, great. And then is it SSP for All on Facebook and social media
So
platforms?
the Facebook page, I believe, is SSP for All community page. Community page.
Okay, got it. Okay,
My brain just kind of left my head, so.
That's all right. No worries. Are any other ways that you want to highlight in terms of how people can help and support the organization?
No, I just, like those monthly events, if you are at all a gamer or you're interested in just coming to the library, come check out the website on the calendar and stop in. If all you want to do is just find out more about what we do, please stop in and talk to one of the volunteer staff members who will be there, like kind of manning the game night. Any of us are open to meeting for coffee if, things are kind of heavy right now. So if you're needing someone to just kind of help brighten your day, there's some of us that would literally meet you for a cup of coffee just to kind of just, help get through this really interesting time that we're going through right now.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great support opportunity for folks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with the game night, I'm curious, what kinds of games are typically being played and how competitive does it get on those game nights?
So it's interesting, and I'm not a gamer myself.
Sure.
So I'm kind of like, my skill level is kind of like, like I'm a card player.
Sure.
But I do know that there's some pretty heated, like tabletop, like board games. I think that there's some that are pretty advanced, and then there's some that are really just purely family friendly.
Sure.
So there's a really cool crowd though. That like the ones that I have attended, the group is really. It ranges from younger to older, and people who identify as gay and people who don't, and they just literally are a really down-to-earth, supportive group of people that are a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. That sounds like a lot of fun and a lot of different great ways to get involved with South St. Paul for All.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any sort of newsletter at all, or is it mostly just the website and social media?
Yeah, it's most of the time it's just we'll put like our updates and stuff out to the social media so that hopefully we'll get seen quicker. But most everything that you see on social media is on the website as well. We have a really great digital team.
Sure.
So they are on top of everything.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to not have to worry about that aspect because that's not my forte.
Sure. Yeah, it's nice to be able to have expertise you can tap into
Yeah.
for sure. Can you also tell me a little bit about just your what do you like the most about South St. Paul? Why do you think it's such a unique community?
It's interesting because when you get to know people, the love, the joy, the pride, everything is there in this community, and so. Even like family, like you just when you feel it, you feel like you're at home, and so I think that like I mentioned to you, like we spent a year going across the country trying to find a new place to live in our camper, and we still ended up right back in South St. Paul because it was the dynamic we were looking for. It was home.
Right. So I guess what Mayor Jimmy Francis says is true. South St. Paul is the center of the universe, right?
Well, it certainly is for some people.
For some people, right.
I mean, didn't hurt that my mom still lived here, so
Right.
I got to come.
Family ties.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
That's great.
yeah.
Well, Gusta, thank you so much for coming to the show today. Great to learn more about you as well as South St. Paul for All.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you all so much for watching this episode of Town Square Talk. I'm your host, Caleb Worth. We'll see you next time.